I clocked out at exactly 12:03 p.m. and rolled into the gravel lot behind the little taco stand where I ate every Wednesday. My name's Thomas Miller, 38, married to Claire for 11 years. My life ran on a schedule. Construction job, lunch break, back to work. I was steady, in the way a man feels steady when he thinks he knows his world. Bills paid. Truck runs fine, lawn trimmed. But content isn't the same as happy. I just hadn't figured that out yet. That Wednesday, I was early. The sky hung flat and gray, muting the whole town. I reached into the cab for my phone and saw Claire's message. Running late. Meeting at 1:30. Try the taqueria. Grande. I didn't think twice. Probably. The school call for our daughter Lily took longer than expected. I silenced the phone, grabbed a chicken poblano bowl, and sat alone, watching steam curl through the plastic lid. Halfway in, a silver sedan pulled into the lot behind the stand. I barely noticed until the driver lingered. Something about him felt familiar but distant. He pulled something from his pocket and slid into the passenger seat. Then the driver's door opened, and Claire stepped out, her lunch bag swinging by her side. My stomach turned. She wasn't supposed to be there. She was supposed to be at work. Time stilled. I leaned forward, instinct sharp. She scanned the lot but didn't see me. The man opened the rear door, pulled out a backpack, reached into the glove box. They exchanged a brief nod. She fixed her hair and looked away. I wanted to call out, "Claire, what are you doing?" But my voice froze. I sat still, taco bowl half-eaten. The sedan reversed and left. Claire walked into the taqueria for a drink. I waited, then finished lunch in a haze, drove back to work, hollow inside. At the truck yard, I parked, engine off, dust settling around me. Nothing felt real. That night at dinner, I studied her, the curve of her smile, fingers tapping her iced tea. Lily asked about her day. Claire smiled faintly and said, "Same old." My chest tightened. I searched her face for guilt, shame, anything. Nothing. Maybe relief. Later in bed, I stared at the ceiling, mind replaying. The sedan, the backpack, the glint on his watch, his hand on the wheel. I drifted in and out, haunted by what I hadn't asked. The next morning, I took a different route, past her office. Told myself it was nothing, but I parked across the street and watched her car leave at 8:15. I followed, heart hammering. She stopped at a cafe, sat outside with a latte. A man arrived, waved, joined her. They looked at ease. She laughed. I watched until I couldn't. That evening, I came home silent, held. Lily asked about school. Told Claire we should talk. She nodded lightly, said, "Busy tonight." That was it. Conversation over. The next week, signs stacked up. Her phone lit seconds after unlocking. She hid it when I entered. Late night texts. I wasn't spying, I told myself, but the doubt grew teeth. Then came Friday night. I got home early from the site. Her car was in the garage. House silent. That was strange. The air smelled like takeout, but no voices. I called. "Claire?" Nothing. Wallet on the hall table, open. Photos spread out. Ours, Lily's. Beneath them, a black business card in gold letters. J. Hansen, private investigator. My blood iced over. I stood in the foyer, walls closing in. No shouting. No panic. I walked upstairs, closed the door, sat on the bed's edge, hands clasped, eyes on the door. And I realized somehow I'd been living beside a stranger. That night, I didn't think about what I'd found, only what I'd lost. The man I thought I was faithful husband, provider, anchor, and the woman across. From me, partner, lover, friend. Both. Illusions gone. Morning light slipped. Through the blinds, thin and colorless. Cutting across the sheets where Claire once slept beside me. The shower ran, a familiar sound that suddenly felt strange. I sat on the edge of the bed, eyes fixed on the floor, replaying that black card in my mind. Private investigator. This wasn't simple. Betrayal. It was calculated. She'd had me watched. She didn't trust me or needed a reason to justify what she'd already done. When she came out, towel wrapped in her hair, she looked surprised to see me awake. "You're up early," she said. "Yeah," I answered evenly. "Didn't sleep much." She smiled faintly, eyes drifting. "Rough week." Something like that. I almost confronted her right then, but I didn't. I wanted to see if she'd expose herself if there was still any truth left between us. So I got up, made coffee, pretended everything was fine. Inside, every nerve burned. At work, I couldn't focus. The hammer felt heavier, the noise sharper. Lunch came, and I sat in my truck. Same spot, same taco stand. But this time, I didn't eat. I opened my banking app, checked our joint account. 3 withdrawals I didn't make, 1 from a hotel, 1 from a flower shop. My chest tightened. It wasn't suspicion anymore. It was evidence. That evening, I came home early. Claire was gone. Her phone buzzed on the counter. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. The message flashed. Same place as before. "Miss you already, Jay." My hands went cold. I set the phone back exactly as it was and walked out. I drove without direction, ending up by the river, watching city lights fracture on the water. I don't know how long I sat there, watching reflections break and mend again. Anger faded, replaced by something quieter, clarity. The next morning, I met a lawyer. His office was small, above a bakery that smelled like cinnamon and burnt sugar. He listened, eyes steady but kind. When I finished, he asked, "Do you want to fight for the marriage or for yourself?" I didn't answer at first. Then I said, "Myself." For once. He nodded, slid a folder across the desk. "Then let's start there." That weekend, I packed a single duffel. Claire came home as I zipped it shut. She froze in the doorway. "What are you doing?" "Leaving," I said. Her face shifted, confusion then fear. "Leaving? Over what?" I looked at her. "Come over everything I had missed." She stepped closer. "You can't just walk away like this." "Funny," I said softly. "That's exactly what you did. I'm just catching up." She tried to speak, but nothing came. Just silence as I lifted the bag. At the door, I turned and said, "You hired a private investigator, Claire. You spent months searching for a problem that didn't exist. Now you've got one." I left before she could reply. The apartment I rented downtown was bare. Second-hand furniture, thin walls, silence deep enough to hear my own breathing. It hurt. God, it hurt. But each night, the pain dulled, replaced by something lighter. I started running. Again. Joined a gym near the pier. Some mornings I drank coffee at sunrise. Watched the ferries cross the bay. Weeks passed. Then one afternoon a letter arrived at the job site. No name. On the front, just my address. Inside, a single page in her handwriting. "I'm sorry." I didn't know how to stop it. I read it once, folded it, and slipped it back in the envelope. No reply. There was nothing left to say. People think betrayal destroys you. It doesn't. It strips away the lies you cling to for safety. It shows you who You are when the noise is gone. Now every Wednesday at lunch I still go to the taco stand. Same seat, same table, but a different man. The cook knows my order by heart. Sometimes he asks, "Rough day?" I just smile and say, "Not anymore." Because somewhere between heartbreak and freedom, I learned this: love isn't proved by staying. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away before you disappear completely.